Does anyone truly understand ADHD? What if it's not what you imagined, and you could actually change how you deal with it? Welcome to Shift's Perspective, the show where we rethink how we understand the mind. Today, we're talking ADHD, challenging what most people think they know, and looking at how it actually shows up in everyday life. Over the past episodes, we've explored the key mental functions one by one, how they work, where challenges show up, and where strengths often go unnoticed. Because ADHD doesn't just change what's difficult, it also changes what's possible. In this final episode, we're shifting focus from what's hard to what helps. We're talking interests and strengths, and how building life around what works can change everything. I'm Mr. MINDSHIFT, but just like everyone else, you can call me Shift. Back with me are Cassandra, diagnosed with ADHD at 30, and Joe, whose 20-year-old son was diagnosed at 12. Let's start by talking about interests. Most people have things they're naturally drawn to, activities they enjoy that hold their attention and give them a sense of flow. What sparks that interest is different for everyone. It depends on curiosity, personality, and what feels meaningful. How deeply we dive in, and how long an interest lasts, can vary a lot, and that's completely normal. But here's the key. Interests are motivating. We don't do them because we have to. We do them because they bring joy, focus, and a sense of well-being. People with ADHD often have a lot of creative ideas about activities, interests, and even ways to solve problems that others might not see. When something feels meaningful and motivating, they can be incredibly driven and quick to take initiative. But of course, it's not always that simple. On the screen behind me, I'll walk through some of the challenges that can come up when it comes to interests. It can be hard to compromise when an activity you care about has to be shared with others. Letting someone else take the lead or make decisions can feel frustrating or even triggering. And when a task feels boring, unclear, or takes too much prep, getting started can be really tough, even if the task seemed interesting at first. Others may struggle to keep up with shifting thoughts and ideas. Family and friends might see interests fade quickly and find it hard to figure out what still feels engaging or meaningful. Now that we've looked at both the strengths and the challenges, when it comes to interests, I'm curious if any of that feels familiar. Joe, from your perspective as a parent, and Cassandra, since you live with ADHD yourself, is this something you recognize?
Yeah, for sure. He's incredibly creative and often comes up with solutions that completely catch me off guard in a good way. But I've also seen how tough it can be for him to compromise, especially when he was younger. Like when his brothers wanted to join in. That didn't always go smoothly.
Definitely. As a kid, I switched sports more times than I can count. I'd get super into something, then totally lose interest a few weeks later. But friends and family have always described me as a real motivator, someone who gets things started. I bring energy and ideas, even if I don't always stick around for the whole process.
Thanks for sharing that, both of you. It really shows how interests can be both a gift and a challenge, bringing creativity, drive, and energy, but also making it harder to follow through or share space with others. Let's take a look at a few ways you can make interests a more balanced part of everyday life. Block time in your calendar for both responsibilities and interests, so you have energy for both. Make it visible what drains you and what gives you energy. Remember to reward yourself after completing tasks that don't spark interest. Be open with others about how hard it can be to stay motivated for non-interest-based tasks, and talk with those around you about how they can best support you with everyday responsibilities. Practice letting others bring their own interests into shared time. Ask questions, be curious, and look for communities where creativity and thinking outside the box are valued. Just be mindful to avoid spaces that may reinforce unhelpful patterns or risky behavior. Now, let's turn our focus to strengths. Strengths can show up in many different ways, through physical ability, sensory awareness, strong memory, deep interests, or unique personality traits. What counts as a strength often depends on the situation. Some people are lucky enough to use their strengths at work, while others find them through hobbies or passion projects. And here's the key: strengths can grow. They can be practiced and developed over time. In every episode so far, we've touched on both challenges and strengths in ADHD. Because when you build life around what someone does well, you boost focus, engagement, meaning, and well-being. Some people with ADHD know their strengths and use them daily. Others may have lost sight of them. It's not uncommon to feel stuck or defeated, unable to see what you're actually good at. That's why it's so important to bring those hidden strengths back into view. Let's take a look at the screen, where I'll go over some of the most well-known strengths seen in ADHD. People with ADHD often have a strong creative side. They think outside the box, bring bold ideas, and take initiative where others might hesitate. They're often more willing to take risks, which makes them natural initiators in new projects. When something feels meaningful, they can stay focused for hours, fully absorbed. They're naturally curious, open to new experiences, styles, friendships, and ideas that cross age, culture, and geography. They're also great at creating and joining communities, often fun, energetic, and full of conversation. Impulsivity can add humor and spontaneity, bringing a fresh spark to social situations. And their high energy? It can fuel big ideas and bold moves, driving projects, inspiring others, and making things happen. Recognizing your own strengths is such an important step. Talk to the people around you about your ADHD, how it gives you certain strengths, but also where it makes you more vulnerable. Bring those strengths into your education, your work, and your free time. It boosts motivation and helps you thrive. Make time for the things you're good at. Use your strengths daily. It builds confidence, energy, and well-being. Seek out communities where others share your interests and talents. And finally, be patient with those who don't think like you. Ask about their strengths too. It's a great conversation starter, and you might just get inspired. And with that, we've reached the end of this series. We've challenged assumptions, explored what ADHD really is, and hopefully sparked a new way of seeing things. Cassandra, Joe, thank you both for sharing your stories, insights, and honesty.
I'm honestly excited to start using some of these tools and to talk to my husband about it. I want him to watch this too, so he can better understand what I've been struggling with. So much of it has felt invisible, and now I finally have a way to explain it.
Same here. I'm really looking forward to seeing my son and giving him the biggest hug. It's hit me just how much I misunderstood him over the years, and I want to make that right.
That's the goal, to move from judgment to understanding, from confusion to clarity, and maybe even from struggle to strength. If this series helped shift your perspective, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more support, there's a link in the description where you can get personalized answers to the questions that matter most to you. You'll also find another link if you want access to exclusive worksheets and join our private community, a space to ask questions, connect with others, and even get a shout out from me when I drop by to respond or join the conversation. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and never stop believing in what's possible. Thanks for watching.